took before the first gen even pops.
Make you wanna call my name.
Trying to bait out a hit there, but not able to get it. Ricky's AT able to get away. That was a missed decisive strike. And that is an insta-down.
Oh God. Already off to a bad start.
What is up, guys? It's Guildfire here. I'll be your judge today, and welcome to Vigo's Court. I'm joined here with Counselor Poggy.
Hi, I'm Counselor Poggy, and I had a question for you.
What's up?
What gives you the right to sit where Rugard's supposed to be?
Yeah, you know, I may or may not have hooked Rugard in a scrim a few times over, and the entity's now laid claim to his soul. So here I am instead.
No, I'm just kidding. I actually really like this guy. Guildspire and I have been talking a lot, and he's really cool. I'm glad that he's here with us today. And I have a question for you again, which is, what's on the docket for today, sir?
Excellent question, Poggy. We're here with the conference rivals between Undying Alliance and Port Mafia, where we'll be on Temple of Purgation, one of the smaller maps in Dead by Daylight, where we'll be having a minimum hook distance of 8 and a maximum of 13, with one permagen down in the basement. Will you be hooked down there, or will you survive?
That permagen down there is a pain in the ass to defend and to complete if it's being defended. It's really
absolutely.
That's the one right there. The Huntress is going down to it right now. That one. Yeah, that's the one we're talking about. I don't like that one. It makes me upset.
No,
it makes me want to cry.
It's one of the hardest ones, and strange enough, it can actually be part of your 3-gen down there and be quite lethal at that. But with that being said, you want to check in on the survivors and see how they're doing, if they're all ready to be killed or to survive.
Well, we can, but tain't nobody here. So, I don't know.
Just that smiley face
just me.
Pepper.
Just me, all
That
alone in
pretty
here. I'm waiting on, I guess, Port Mafia's killer to invite me, or I don't know. Sam, maybe check in on that, see where they are at. We're 3 minutes into the hour. They're late. They're late. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
It's okay.
None
We can just have a trapper talk.
All right, I'll stop. Anyway.
So what are you thinking, Poggy? You know, we obviously haven't seen anything from either side, but what's your prediction already with these two teams? Obviously, you know Rue well enough. You're in his head. What do you think he's going to bring to the table today?
I actually can't say because I know what he's bringing, so that would that would be an unfair advantage if I said it out loud, and I'm not going to do that. And Trapper being on the screen, not a hint, by the way. Just I thought it looked cool, and I put it on there. I didn't want anyone to think that that's what he's bringing because I put it on the screen. But yeah, so I actually want to talk about the map a little bit more. This is one of my favorite maps in the game, both for Survivor and for Killer. It's super fun to play on. And some of the funnest games I've had as Hag have been on that map, where I actually used the, is it the waterlogged shield? There's one of the add-ons, I can't remember the name of off the top of my head, that makes it so that you can't go through the traps.
Oh, like the body block.
The body block, yeah. And you can actually trap both sides, especially that little tunnel that goes inside the temple. Yep. And you could do some pretty deadly stuff in that temple with those body blocking abilities. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this map in a lot of different ways. It's super fun. The building can be strong, but it's easy to make mistakes. And I don't know. We'll see how they do today, but yeah.
See, I have only one killer that I really like on this map, and that is Deathslinger. The tiles are low enough to where you can see over them no matter what, and with Deathslinger is a death sentence because you can shoot right over them, get around the corner, and it's an insta down almost every time.
Yeah. Yeah, Deathslinger is very strong as well. I'm not a Deathslinger player, but I have seen a lot of gameplay with Deathslinger, and yeah, he's pretty oppressive on maps like that for sure. And actually, stuff's starting to happen. People are starting to arrive.
Hey.
We got here TX Nightwolf, Corporal Kamikaze, Troon Tune, and TTV Reality. TTV/Reality XI. I'm gonna try to shorten that at some point.
Gotta love those TTV names, right?
Oh, guys, it is either really hot in here, or it's the coffee that's making me sweat a whole lot. I'm not really sure which one it is. I think it's the coffee.
No, I'm pretty sure probably it's just you.
Is it just me? Oh boy. Anyway, excuse me.
Well, not sure if this is going to be their actual
quick.
tools that they're bringing in, but I do see a flashlight, which is interesting.
There is a flashlight. I don't know if that's actually going to stay in. It may or may not. It may actually get removed. They might just be kind of joining in with a flashlight and then might switch it out in a minute. I don't know. I don't know if TX Nightwolf's main character is actually even a Fang. I have to look at that again.
Yeah, definitely don't want to make the mistake that we seen a couple nights ago, or was it yesterday? Hard to remember with some other cosmetics. Definitely wouldn't hate to see those penalties.
Yeah, I don't really think we're going to. These guys, I mean, pretty much all of them came from last season, so they're all pretty up to speed on the rules and how they work, and I really would be surprised to see them making such egregious errors like that. And TX Nightwolf was one who was pinging me a lot. Yeah, there he goes. He was pinging me a lot, telling me, asking me questions like, oh, what do I do with the site? How do I, get my name up there or whatever? What's the new rules? Like he cares about getting the rules right. Obviously, he's a good captain, and yeah, I think they're going to do pretty well.
Awesome. I'm very excited to see this team play and seeing what they're capable of on this map.
Guys, I am having shortness of breath, and it is rough right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm pretty sure it's just the coffee giving me heartburn, and it's like, ugh, it's awful. I had a lot of coffee today. I'm tired, so I keep drinking coffee, and coffee, I don't know if you guys know, it can give you heartburn. It's an acidic drink, and it also is a stimulant, so it makes you sweat. So I'm just like, I feel like I don't know, maybe about to die, but I'm pretty sure it's just the coffee.
And then I'm over here, just did the hot wings challenge, and I'm just sitting here cool as a cucumber. So I don't know. Talk to me in 24 hours, though. Might be a different story.
Yeah. Well, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. If I actually thought something was wrong with me, I would call, an ambulance or something. I'm fine. I'm just mostly having fun, and also the coffee is making my brain go a little extra fast, so I'm thinking about a lot of stuff. Anyway, let's read some of the chat. I think the chat's gonna start worrying about my health in a minute here. Let's see, Sam, are we playing on Temple or Torment Creek? Yeah, we are playing on Temple. Yes. Oh my gosh, guys, you have no idea. You just don't know until you've been this fat for this long. You have no idea.
So I like Ninetales' new nickname for us, the Pogspire.
Pogspire? That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that.
I guess Guiltgy didn't sound right, huh?
Guiltgy? Yeah, I think Pogspire definitely is a little bit better on that one. I'll be honest with you.
Pogspire, let's see. How else could you say it? Pogire, maybe? No, Pogspire is better, I think. I would have to agree with that. Maybe Pogpire. Take out the S. But Spire definitely works. Pogpire. Malding? What is malding? Is that a word?
Yes. I've recognized the word, I just don't know the definition.
Balding. It's a portmanteau of the words mad and balding, used to refer to an angry bald man. It is seen the most at the chat of Twitch streamer Forsen. I've never heard that term before. All right.
Interesting.
Too much coffee,
Looks
Pogard.
like
No, I'm
we
not Pogard.
already got little Rugard redeeming a guilty high five.
Oh God! Already? Fucking
Already. We're
Rugard.
already on this train.
All right, fine. Ready?
Let's see.
Here we go. He's new at this. Let's see if we can do it. 3, 2, 1, boop. That delay is fabulous. It's fabulous.
That was something else.
Let's increase the cringe a bit more. they are readying up, and while we wait for them to finish readying up, let's take a look at their stats. So, as we can see, Port Mafia is clearly the stronger team going into today, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. We've seen that the case with Deity and having a better overall score, and CDM pretty much crushed them. You know, they did a really good job, and I was really impressed. But, you know, Port Mafia, Undying Alliance, overall, not overly far apart. Their escape percentage on Undying Alliance isn't great compared to Port Mafia, but their average scores are pretty decently close, and their hook differentials are not that far apart either, only about 4.25 points. I mean, which is a lot, but it's not like insane amount, you know.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that realistically speaking, stats are great and everything, but with a team putting in the work, you know, week over week, you know, you could see a dramatic shift in their performance.
Well,
So it's very
and really
possible
quickly,
that
honestly, we'll have to wait until we come back to talk a bit more about that, but let's do that right now. We're going to take a break and go to the rules video. Hello, everyone. We're going to be going over these rules and explaining how they work. So, 2 teams will go head-to-head, playing each role twice for a total of 4 trials. In play order is home team kills, survives, and then kills. In addition, teams get points in the trial for objectives, escapes, and hooks. And teams can't bring or use keys, iridescents, event items, or add-ons. Survivors can only bring 2 of a perk or item. Survivors can only bring yellow and brown items, and BP bonuses are awarded post-trial. Broken rules may result in penalties or restarts. All right, everybody, we're back here again. I'm Boggy. We're watching Week 3 matchup, Conference Rivals, Port Mafia, and Undying Alliance, and we're loading in now. And I'm joined today with my good friend and judge, Guiltspire. So he's going to be doing some co-commentary with me as we go into this next match in just a second. Trial number 1 coming up right now, actually. Right this moment, this very second. And wow, a Legion coming in from TTV Reality XI. So already we're seeing Legion, and we already see Corrupt Intervention as well. So an early information. I don't have to scroll too much to get that one, you know. We started on Legion. Troontoon being the first one he finds, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get this. And already starts doing mending right in front of him. I love it, because Legion's just going to leave and go to somewhere else. He's like, yeah, why not? But he misses that hit on Canadian Beast. Not great.
Yeah, no, definitely interesting to see Legion on this map.
Yeah, Legion on this map probably is going to be pretty good, actually. I mean, it's a pretty wide open space here, kind of around the building. A lot of unsafe pallets, too, that he can work around. And he does get them down quickly, too. Yeah, speaking of, he gets them down nice and quick. Really well played. And TX Nightwolf working on their generator. Canadian Beast going to be first on hook as Corporal Kamikaze is at about 70%. And we also see Troontoon healing back up with his little med kit. And Reality XI is going to check on the unblocked generators, I believe. Yeah, and he's doing that right now. He is actually catching up to one of them who just hopped off and gets the hit on Corporal Kamikaze, who is going to have to either run away as he's getting chased, or he's going to find somebody working on his totem down below. Is he going to do something about that? Let's find out. Oh, yeah, he's going down there. He's none too pleased with what he just saw. As a generator pops as well. What was that?
Question is, will they get it there in time?
Oh, yeah, exactly. And no, he did not, actually. It did go down, unfortunately.
Oh, I do see the beginning of that chase. Looked like they're still working on those gens pretty heavily.
Yeah, they are. They're still working on the generators, and ooh, Troon tried to bait a hit, but wasn't able to, and he's going to go down right by the pallet, unfortunately, as well. Wow. 2 generators, 2 hooks, a pretty even game up to this point. Turning point should be pretty soon. We'll see who's going to get the one-sided play, who's going to get more pressure. Are the survivors going to get more generators, or is Legion going to get a bunch more downs? This is kind of where we're going to start to see either a snowball or, yeah, generators just getting done a lot quicker. And I think with the 2 injuries, they're going to have to reset probably. But what do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm really thinking that they're going to have to reset soon. You know, I don't think anyone has ignored the fact that we do see that status effect in the bottom right-hand corner when we look over at the survivors. So they're going to have to heal prior to them doing much here. Otherwise, they will receive a 4-second penalty per injured survivor.
Yeah, and if you guys are wondering what he's talking about the status effect of Thanatophobia, of course, we do see that down there. And True Tune going down after just having been unhooked. Unlucky. I totally missed that. My fault. But, yeah, that is another hook for Reality XI. He may be able to get True Tune down again and then kill him. We'll see if he does that. Because I think True Tune was just recently on the hook. And if he picked him up without any DS or anything, he might be thinking, hey, I can probably tunnel him back down.
Definitely would be a good idea trying to get someone out early.
Ooh, that was a nice sprint burst by Kate. And waiting by the pallet patiently, and we see Reality Z going through. Is that how you say that? Reality Z? Reality XI? I have no idea. It doesn't matter. Anyway, he gets the pallet in his face, unfortunately. Not stunned, but isn't able to get through the hit. And we see a Repressed Alliance as well. Interesting. Nancy working her way around the backside, but unfortunately, Canadian Beast going to be the one to go down. And he's not actually going to pick him up right away. Instead, I guess hunting down that Nancy he saw.
It makes sense here. I mean, Canadian Beast is an obsession, so curious as to maybe why that might be. Obviously, Repressed Alliance is regressing that gen. It's going to pull someone off another.
Yeah, he may be suspecting Decisive Strike on the Canadian Beast, and maybe not sure of the timing, how long it's been since he last hooked him. So that could be what's going on. Ooh, but Corporal Kamikaze making some interesting choices around this TNL loop and goes down quickly. And another generator is about to pop, though. So Legion is getting some pressure. I mean, to be fair, he's doing pretty well. But the survivors are also pressuring pretty hard, too, against Port Mafia. They're getting generators done rather quickly, even with the pressure that they have. And he cancels his power right behind Canadian Beast, who is working our way toward the jungle gym. Bypasses it, going instead for the building, perhaps. Ooh, maybe a mistake here. Probably should have stuck to that jungle gym back there, you think?
Yeah, I think, honestly, they moved into a dead zone pretty quickly. There's not much around in that area, so I do question that decision.
You can just call him Reality. Got it. Reality. Reality. So let's bring it back around to Reality. And sorry, that seemed like the obvious thing to say. He does get another hit on these survivors. He's probably going to go for at least 2 of them and then cancel his power. And let's see if he does. He does exactly that. Trying to body block. Gets a nice body block, but he does ultimately get around him. As Francis... Francis? Why did I say Francis? Is it Francis? Wait, who's that? Is that Ace? I forget this guy's name. They all look the same to me. But Troontoon, we'll just call him Troontoon, is going back to the TNL loop. Let's see if he can handle it any better than we saw Nancy doing it. He's abandoning. Going for the pallet. Dead Hard gonna save him, but just barely, and does get the stun. Really well played by Troontoon, but can he maintain that pressure? There is no pallet over here. It's already been used. So he's going to have to work his way back elsewhere as he goes around the side to the back of the tree area, and not really seeing a whole lot and not looking behind him either, making me a little anxious, and I think he's going to go down, unfortunately. Oh, no. Troontoon going to be on 3rd hook. However, 4 generators got done as well, so maybe we'll see them actually completing. And I guess TX Nightwolf maybe forgot how many hooks had been taken. Now, we do hear Legion moving, but there's a bug right now in the spectator mode where Legion sort of stands still. Well, killers tend to stand still for a little bit, and he'll probably catch back up when he gets a hit or a swing or something. I'm not really sure how the bug works, but it's something we see. Yeah, there he is now. So working his way towards Corporal Kamikaze. Corporal Kamikaze going around the wrong way and getting a hit, unfortunately. Going through here toward the pallet that's inside. Very nice pallet drop. Saves him there. Going to work his way around to the window and off to the side of the building using Lithe to get some extra speed boost. As we see Legion instead abandoning the chase with Nancy. And I guess looking elsewhere. Now, he doesn't really have a super strong 3-gen, I don't think. This is a pretty far away generator collection, I would say. I don't know what you think of that. Is it close enough for Legion to be able to pressure these gens?
It's a good question, to be honest. You know, with 130 speed, he can definitely make the distance if played right. But honestly, I feel like it's weak enough with 3 people that if they each jump on 3 gens, even for Ruin, they won't be able to do much.
Yeah, I mean, Ruin is still up, so Ruin could make this difficult for them. And of course, there's only 3 survivors right now. All of them injured. 2 of them have deep wounds. So this could turn into a problem for this team if they don't either reset or at least get the generator done. Now, he's only chasing Cheryl at the moment, TX Nightwolf, who doesn't have any exhaustion perk and is going to take a hook. But these guys are working on a gen off in the distance. And I wonder if Legion's going to immediately go for them or if he's going to abandon that to check on the generator, because that might be the smarter play. Now, he does have, at this moment, 6 hooks. And so he's basically at least gotten half his score. We already see Kate abandoning the generator, and I think we saw Nancy do the same, but Nancy's back here behind, staying very close to this TNL loop. And she didn't do too well on the last time we saw her going through this. And let's see if she can handle it a little bit better now. This is kind of a 50-50 play. He did a nice little mind game there, but Nancy didn't fall for it that time. And does actually get caught out on that one and is going to go down. That'll be second hook for Corporal Kamikaze. As we see in the background, Canadian Beast going back to pick up TX Nightwolf off the ground.
I think, honestly, that was a great use of both his time and of Ruin. With him getting 2 people off of gens, 1 at the slug, 1 at the pickup, and then 1 on the hook. I mean, you're getting those gens regressed much more than you'd be able to just by hooking that 1 person and getting 1 person off a gen, right? So that I think that worked out really well in his favor.
Yeah, it does seem as though these guys are going to be trying to reset and possibly go on a hunt for some totems, perhaps. And I suspect he's telling his friend, hey, I'm going to go ahead and heal myself. You go get the unhook. That, to me, is a bit of a risky play. Because TX Nightwolf is the only one who's not been hooked yet. Canadian Beast is on 3rd hook. If he gets downed again, that could be extremely bad for this team. And, of course, Corporal Kamikaze doesn't have much time left on the hook either. And, jeez, he was respecting that something fierce. In reality, kind of just waiting that out. And she was able to get the stun, and I think that's going to be death for Corporal Kamikaze, progressing to death hook. And Canadian Beast going down, also going to be on death hook. And that's GG, I think, for Undying Alliance. Port Mafia, a strong killer showing in the first game. Really well done. TX Nightwolf, the only one left alive after this, unless he's going to go for the 4-man slug, which I suspect is exactly what he's doing. Canadian Beast, if he has Unbreakable, he may actually be able to get him, give it up and maybe pressure something, but let's see what he does.
Based on what we see, I don't think he actually has the Unbreakable charge anymore because we saw the 4 help sign when recovering. We saw the increased speed, but that was about it.
Yeah, we didn't see him get back up, so I guess he already used it. I must have missed that one in the thick of it.
Either that, or it could be another perk that would increase healing state while injured.
Ooh, but TX Nightwolf getting off of the hook of 4% off the hook. That could really piss Legion off. Let's see what he does in recovery of that. Can it go straight back for TX Nightwolf, or is he going to go ahead and go for the hook? No, it seems as though he wants to find TX Nightwolf first. Does not want to let them potentially get hatch. And not a bad play at all, but this does extend our wait time. So, I mean, up to this point, I think Legion has done a really fantastic job of pressuring these survivors, but the survivors also pushed back pretty good, getting 4 generators done, but I don't think they're doing anything else. We also spot Cheryl just barely right out the side, and yeah, you're done for it, TX Nightwolf. There's not much you can do now. He does not fall for the bait. Vaulting through the other way. Not much left over here for you, though. Yeah, that's it. That's it. He may actually lose Canadian Beast, though, because Canadian Beast's been crawling around this whole time, and you may or may not be aware, but survivors can crawl pretty far in a very short amount of time, and on a map with nothing but grass all around, you might lose them. Honestly, though, yeah, I think him 4%ing was a bad idea.
It's hard to say. Maybe they were trying to force the suicide and just accidentally ended up with that 4%.
That's true. Honestly, though, the 4% though did kind of screw them over because it gave the killer an extra point. And a double kill. Very nice. Good way to end that one.
It was a really interesting match. Honestly, I felt that the survivors had a lot of pressure there, but the Legion just made really good use of his rune at the end.
He really did, and a very high score as well, 29,484 points. And we see his build, of course, is Corrupt Intervention, Thanatophobia, Hex Undying, and Hex Ruin. Yeah, we saw all that. Cold Dirt considerably decreases the fatigue after Feral Frenzy ends, and considerably increases Feral Frenzy duration of the Stolen Sketchbook. So there you go. That is the build in a nutshell.
Some really good options for Legion, honestly. I think Fan is just a staple perk for him, not to mention Corrupt Intervention. Rune Undying can be kind of swapped out for things like Surge and Pop, but for this map, I think that this has some really good totem spawns that definitely worked out in his favor. On top of which, the add-ons, kind of interesting. You know, personally, I usually either double up Cold Dirt and Joy's Mixtape for the decreased fatigue time, or double up the Mural Sketch and the Stolen Sketchbook for the increased duration. Seeing them together definitely worked out in his favor, though definitely some instances where it could have helped him out with that fatigue.
Absolutely. And I think the score is right, so we're going to go ahead and do our post-game review. Thank you, Sam. And we're going to do our post-game review, and we'll be right back after this. All right, everybody, you are watching Week 3 matchups, Conference Rivals, Port Mafia versus Undying Alliance. This is Vigo's Court, and this is trial number 1 post-game review. And here's what you witnessed. So, we saw 4 generators getting done. Not bad at all, really. These survivors did pretty well against this Legion, but unfortunately, 0 escapes. Not great. 10 hooks, though. Fantastic for Legion. Exactly what they wanted, I'm sure, coming out in the opening with a 4K. So, not bad at all. Legion did a fantastic job. 25-10 in favor of Port Mafia going into trial number 2. And that means, yeah, Port Mafia is leading. So, well done. And we'll see how they do in the next one, as Little Rugard is going to be killing. I'm already getting my invite. So, we're going to be going into the post-game highlights. And you, sir, have control. You can tell us what you think about this game overall and, you know, talk about it.
Yeah, I found a lot of different things interesting for this game, actually, between the use of Ruin as well as Undying, and I feel like the Legion made really, really great use of it by forcing that 2-gen, you know, towards the end. Normally, you know, you don't think that there's much power there, but with Legion, where his power is all about, you know, getting survivors into social situations, he was able to get that Feral Frenzy, get people injured, and really just force them to stop healing, because the more time they took to heal, the less time they had on gens for progression, and on top of which, the Nanophobia was still in the works, adding 4 seconds per gen every single time, and those seconds really do add up in the end game. So I think Legion did a fantastic job of managing both his generators at the end, as well as, you know, making sure survivors were just taking as much time as possible off of them. Survivors, though, they had a great beginning of the match where they were able to force out those gens. You know, they're going 1 for 1 on hooks for a while, but once they started taking the time to heal and try and regroup, that just gave Legion that much more time to apply more pressure elsewhere. And I think that's really where they started falling apart in that mid to late game. We did see some really good plays and good uses of things like Sprint Burst, Life, but against the Legion, it won't really matter much as he's able to just catch up pretty quick with that Fatal Frenzy. So overall, good use all around, really great game, and excited to see what we see in trial number 4 for Port Mafia's Killer. With that being said...
Definitely. No, go ahead.
Yeah, with that being said, interested to see what Little Rugard will bring to the table to try and answer this Legion. I mean, there's now a 15-point deficit, and with that being said, they really need to answer in turn. Are we going to see some of Rugard's specialty? Or are we going to see something entirely different? I'm excited to find out.
Well, I could tell you because I think I know, at least I'm pretty sure, unless he changed it last minute. I think I know exactly what he's bringing, but I can't tell you. I'm not allowed. It's against the rules or something. No, it would be really inappropriate, actually. But I didn't sign an NDA. I could actually say it. It's fine. But I ain't gonna.
I think he's definitely using Wraith with, Coxcomb Clapper, right?
That's it. That's exactly right. Yeah, how did you know? That's... Oh boy, no! I'm excited actually because we have the Cybers loading in already, getting ready to hop into the group, and we also got Little Rugard waiting on the killer side. So yeah,
awesome. So with that being said, what are your thoughts here, Poggy? Do you think that Undying Alliance is going to be able to answer in kind and turn the tables on Port Mafia here?
I have seen Little Rugard play quite well against quite a few different teams. And I can say with confidence that he's feeling a lot of pressure, but he performs well. So I think they could answer in kind. The score is pretty far apart, 15 points in favor of Port Mafia, but it's not unrecoverable at all. So I definitely think they could bring it back.
Absolutely. I think you're dead on with that analysis. And, being able to kind of see there's that 15-point difference. And it's going to come down to, I think, the survivors being able to, either hold their ground on Port Mafia's side or giving that ground back to Undying Alliance. And then seeing that in turn with Undying Alliance back in Trial 4, seeing if they're able to stave off Port Mafia's Killer in the end. I think, honestly, it's going to be really close to Trial 4, and then we'll be able to see that, that game... that Trial 4 and really making a difference.
Right. Yeah. It's actually, they're all here. So let's take a look. Here's our Survivor Squad. We got Undying Alliance as Killer, Little Rugard, and Port Mafia. We see Zurin, Katie, Clay, and Splasher. Fantastic team that we've seen play many times already. And all, of course, red rank survivors as usual. They're a great force to be reckoned with, and I'm excited to see them play against Little Rugard because he's been telling me about it. He said he's pretty nervous about this game.
I imagine that he's probably taking the time to scrim quite often, leading up to this week while he has the time to. Obviously, he's been here on Vigo's court hosting, but I imagine every time he's not, he's scrimming elsewhere. Now, I do see something interesting here. We see another flashlight. Now, they haven't readied up, obviously, but I wonder if they are bringing that in. So, we do see everyone here. Not able to see who's ready, who's not.
Nope, wrong way. There we go. We good to go, Poggy Woggy? Yeah, we are. We are good to go, sir. There. He was asking me in the in-game chat. So,
gotcha.
So you said we see a flashlight. Yes, we do. They haven't switched it out. Clay hasn't picked up an item yet, as we can see. If we go back in, he has not picked up an item yet. I don't know. We've seen some pretty interesting flashlight saves this season. We saw, I think, CDM do a couple of them, as well as Deity. I don't know if we've seen Port Mafia do any, but maybe they're feeling inspired. Maybe they're feeling it. They're feeling the love of flashlights.
It'll definitely be interesting to see. As a killer main, I definitely, when I see a flashlight, I kind of scoff at it, to be honest with you, where I look at it and go, well, unless they find themselves in the middle of nowhere, I'm going to just look at a wall, look at a tree, and ensure that there's no way that they get this flashlight save. So maybe with a little bit of coordination, they can get a lot of value out of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. And of course, you can have builds that help you harass the killer a bit more. Things like getting, what is it, the one that gets you the off the shoulder? What's that one where you follow it, makes the wiggle timer go faster?
Breakout?
Or the wiggling? Yeah, breakout. Thank you. God, my brain farted on that one. But yeah, breakout is a good one that we could end up seeing, maybe, possibly. That would work well with a Sabo build as well, if they're thinking about that. I don't know. Maybe they're thinking Sabo and flashlights. Who knows?
Maybe. What's even more interesting, in my opinion, is the fact that we see 2 med kits and not 2 toolboxes. Because you'd think they'd bring the toolboxes for that additional repair speed, but maybe they're bringing that in anticipating a Ruin Undying, what we saw earlier last game.
Well, if you're asking me my opinion, which you weren't, but I'll say it anyway, is I think medkits are actually quite a bit stronger than toolboxes, in my opinion. I think that when you take medkits into account, especially when you have things like what's the one? Built to last, perhaps.
Yep.
And it becomes a really strong thing to bring with you. Much stronger IMO than just toolboxes. Which, I mean, I'm not saying toolboxes aren't strong. Of course they are. But I think medkits win out. And I think we've been seeing that a lot this season as well. Medkits are very common. All right, well, they're readying up. They're going in. We're going to take a quick look at the rules for Killer Side. And we'll be right back after this for trial number 2. All right, everyone, we're going to be looking at how the game works from the killer side. Now, killer points. Each survivor is worth a total of 6 points per survivor. First hook is 1 point, second is 2, and third is 3 points. Progressing is only 1 point. Killer bonus points. Every 5,000 blood points is 1 point. Getting to hatch first is also 1 point. A killer can only be used a total of 3 times in the season. Killers have a 150 millisecond ping limit. Also, should a reset occur, the killer and perks must remain the same. Bringing the wrong map is a forced reset, and minus 10 points. Bringing a killer a 4th time is 10 points off, and changing a build after is also 10 points. Not being on the roster is a 5 point and a reset.
Funny thing is, I think it's...
Oh, yeah. We're back, folks. Week 3 matchup conference rivals. He panics. He's like, oh god, it's back. Whoa, I shouldn't be talking. That's cute though. Port Mafia versus Undying Alliance. You're fine. Relax. Deep breath. You'll be fine. We're in right now and we're going into game. Let's take a look at what we got here. We got a Freddy from Little Rugard. That is actually not what I was expecting. If I'm being real with you. But maybe that's one of the killers.
Yeah, I would not have guessed that either.
Well, I mean, Freddy's a strong killer, obviously, but I think the other one that we were talking about before, yesterday or whatever it was, we were talking about a different killer, and it might just be that he's not bringing that one right this second. He's bringing it on the second game or something like that, so we'll see. But Freddy, definitely a strong killer, and he's already getting an early hit on Clay. And seems to be committing to chase with Clay, perhaps. Maybe? Yeah, he does. Ooh, and Clay makes a mistake, second-guessing himself, going back towards the pallet and getting downed quickly by Little Rugard. An early down for Little Rugard. And, of course, down in the basement over there, we can see the survivors working on that generator. And Rugard seemed to second-guess himself on what hook he was going to, and I guess he chose the closer one, which was a good idea, I think. And, of course, Freddy is teleporting around, but he teleports to a nothing, big nothing burger over here. And doesn't know where the survivors are.
Yeah, this is interesting. With Freddy, you definitely expect a lot of info perks for gens, and looks like that might not be the case here.
Yeah, not a whole lot of info perks going on. He does have one info perk. I won't tell you what it is, though some of you could probably guess. And of course, we did also see Corrupt Intervention, which is something Little Rugard has like some sort of infatuation for. I don't know what this deal is, but... we've talked about it in the past where I think it can be useful, and obviously he got some use out of it, getting that early down, and he gets a hit on Zurin as well. Starting chase, but not committing. Instead, going back towards the hook.
Though,
yeah, go ahead.
I think going to your point, though... Oh, looks like we're actually in chase.
Ooh. Katie getting the unhook, but going down a 1-for-1 for little Rugard. And is going to hook him right away. Smart play.
Yeah, going back to Crupper intervention, though, I think on Freddy, it's actually a really powerful tool, because if you can get everyone to sleep before they even get to a gen, he's able to do a lot.
Oh, yeah, and we see Quentin getting the pants scared off of him there for a moment as he's running away. Everybody's injured right now, and we also see that he has swing chains and jump rope, which slows down healing speeds and gen speeds and all that just a little bit for everybody that is asleep. So they're going to want to keep waking themselves up as well as getting heals, which I think is exactly what they're doing. And Claudette going for the unhook, and it may be perhaps another 1-for-1. No, not quite. She does get some distance, works her way towards Killer Shack, and Freddy is teleporting into the Killer Shack, faking it though. And the chase music stopped. I guess the entity thinks they're not in a chase anymore?
I think... Oh.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I thought that she just left the town completely, but apparently not.
No, she did not. She is still there, running around it. And she is going to get the pallet stun. Ooh, very nicely played by whoever the heck that was. The name of that player, Clay, is the one. Thank you. I almost called him Katie. Clady. Clay working towards this semi-safe pallet. Gets the stun, very nice, and is going to leave it right away. Not going to use it. That is, it's not something I would loop around as a survivor. I definitely would leave that. And he does abandon this chase. And instead finding, I think, Katie this time. No, it's Zurin. Katie getting a heal instead. Zurin now in chase with Freddy. Ooh, but makes a mistake going down quickly. Unfortunately for Zurin. And that is third hook for Freddy. Third generator is popped as well. And the survivors are struggling. But not really struggling too bad. Like, they're kind of struggling to, I guess, recover. Because Freddy keeps hitting them. So there's two healthy right now. One injured, one on a hook. He does get a stun. Very nice by Clay. Zurin does get the unhook as well. Now, if Clay can waste some more of his time, they could do like a full recovery, get three people healed up. Ooh, but Clay goes down on second hook as well. And unfortunately, Katie, who was going in for the flashlight, wasn't able to line up for it.
I see we finally found that seen its moment, but not able to really make it shine.
Right. And Katie does take the hit for Clay. And I think Rugard is going to be committing to Katie. As he fakes a teleport elsewhere. But yeah, Katie going down, also going to be on second hook. Rugard just about halfway to his hooks. Has 5 hooks right now. If you include this one, which I am, because he's probably going to get it, right? Right? There's no way he doesn't get this. Okay. I didn't anticipate it badly. That was fine. And then he is going to have 5 hooks, and will probably get another player down. They haven't really done a good job of resetting. Once again, we still see 2 players injured, 1 person on a hook. So yeah, Clay going down as well. Perhaps worried about a decisive strike is going to leave him on the ground for now and go for Quentin. Getting yet another injury, and this is going to be swing chain jump rope value, baby. You'll love to see it. And Katie struggling on the hook. Zurin still working on their gen. Gens before friends is big for these guys. And he is once again going for Quentin. Ooh, a whiff though. And then Quentin uses a styptic right in his face. So if he had gotten him before the styptic, he actually would have gotten him down. But it doesn't matter because he does go for Clay instead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Quentin actually dead harded in top of which, so dead hard into the styptic agent.
I didn't actually see the dead hard, but that makes sense. That does make sense. I think the camera movement maybe not see it, perhaps. And I think Freddy's committing to Katie around the Killer Shack. Now, there is no pallet here anymore, so he does dead hard forward and jumps without looking. Freddy's going to get this down, I do believe, and this will be a third hook for Katie. Well done. That is going to be second kill. So, yeah, I think Undying Alliance is going to be answering in kind to what you said earlier. I mean, this game is basically turned around in his favor pretty substantially at this point.
Yeah, this was definitely a 180 from what I was seeing earlier. Early game, Rugard definitely was really struggling to keep the pressure going, but here we are.
Yeah, I mean, if they had reset, or at least tried a little harder to reset, they might have actually done a bit more, but they just didn't. They kept committing to gens instead. And as a result, this is kind of what you see. This is kind of what happened.
I agree, and I really do think that where we saw that commitment to a gen earlier before going for the unhook may have actually given Rugard the game, because, you know, great and all to try and finish a gen, but at 50%, you're not going to get it before someone dies on hook. And in that time, if Freddy also down someone else, it's game over.
Yeah, exactly. And he's looking around. I think he does want to go for the 4-man slug, obviously. Ooh, and Quentin just accidentally walks into him. Unlucky. And that's going to be first hook for Splasher. Unless he 4%'s just like we saw TX Nightwolf do in the first game, he's dead. So, and by the way, Ruin's been up this whole time. He's managed to keep Ruin up the entire game. Something very rare in this game, in this league. But the survivors just, they committed to gens too hard, I think.
Yeah, I think this map is really good for totems. Realistically speaking, there's some pretty good areas to play around with totems. You know, lands in corners, next to trees, inside bushes. So can't really complain with the totem spawns here.
Splasher is not risking a 4%. He's just hanging out on that hook all the way through. He does not care. Because I think he realizes that if he accidentally 4%'s off the hook, he will be giving Freddy another hook point. So I don't think he wants to do that. And instead is going to just wait out that minute. Which is a mistake I think TX Nightwolf made in the last game, which was 4%ing off the hook. I mean, it's obviously it's rare, but if it happens, you give the killer extra 2 points. And not really ideal. And a double 100%. Kill as well. So pretty much an answer in kind to Port Mafia's killer. Little Rugard doing quite well. And a similar score as well. Not too bad at all. Let's see how these scores match up now. 29-29 at this moment, but the blood points are going to be what make the difference. Let's see where we stand.
And while we are calculating those up, you know, taking a look at the perks, looking at Corrupt Intervention, Undying, Ruin, and Surveillance being his info perk. Only thing about Surveillance to keep in mind is that if they're not letting go of gens, then you're not getting the info, which I think is really what played against Rugard in the beginning. Then later down the road, he's just able to apply that pressure and just keep that info across the board, allowing him to teleport from gen to gen. You know, and I think Corrupt actually played a big part in that because, you know, though he had fewer gens to move around, they also had fewer gens to pick from, which then allowed Rugard a little bit more time to get them asleep and, you know, get his teleports up. Do you think Freddy was the right choice here, Poggy?
I mean, I can't say it wasn't, because obviously he got a 4K and a lot of points, but I don't know. Let's find out in the postgame. All right, everybody, you've been watching Week 3 matchup conference rivals Port Mafia versus Undying Alliance. And we saw trial number 2. Here's your postgame review. You're watching Vigo's Court. Hope you all are enjoying the show tonight. 3 generators getting done. Not ideal for these survivors with 0 escapes, of course. But let's see how the killer did. How did he do? Well, we saw him get 9 hooks. 1 less hook than Port Mafia's killer, but also a 4K. So whose is it? Who's ahead? 7-24. Undying Alliance leading this trial. And also, I think Undying Alliance is leading going into trial number 3. They are ahead by, I think it's like 2 points. I think. And this is going to be your highlight reel of this matchup. And yeah, it's 34-32. Undying Alliance is just barely ahead. They squeak out ahead, and Little Rugard is going to have to keep that pressure because Port Mafia could always come back in the last game. But why don't you tell us what you think about this game, Guilt, Spire?
Yeah, honestly, I really think that, as I was saying earlier, that early game, Rugar is struggling to get that pressure, but in the mid to late game, once he's starting to get that value off of surveillance, it really turned it around for him. I also think, though, that Port Mafia may have misplayed a few times here between going for some unsafe unhooks, resulting in some trades, as well as some instances where they are prioritizing gens before the unhook or pickup, which really allowed for Freddy to apply a ton of pressure. With all those things in mind, I think they may have boxed themselves in and giving Rugar just too much pressure in the end, resulting in that 4K. Beyond that, though, I think Rugar did a great job at managing his generators and ensuring that he was using Ruin to its fullest by, fake teleporting in chase, which I think is something that a lot of Freddys don't do. They use teleport to get from one place to the other. Though, if you can use it while you're moving and make those survivors second guess, they might jump off for just a second, but those seconds are enough for that Ruin to do a ton of damage. So, do you think Corrupt Intervention, in this instance, Poggy, may have actually helped him out a lot? You've heard my arguments why I like it on Freddy, but what are your thoughts? I know you're a big, Bear Pen's very much anti-corrupt intervention.
But by the way, we are going back in right now. Like, they're loading in right this second for trial number 3. By the way, I think I was muted for like the few seconds there. My apologies.
Oh, good.
It doesn't matter. They didn't miss anything important. Believe me, it's not important at all. And we're about to go into the game. It should be like a couple more seconds, and then we'll see trial number 3, see how they do. Same sides, Port Mafia surviving, Undying Alliance killing, same team, Little Rugard killing, and Port Mafia's same team. So nothing changed. But let's see what killer it's going to be. I wonder if it's the one that he told me it would be. Let's find out. Oh, lordy. We got ourselves a spirit. And do you think they're ready for this spirit? I don't know. Spirit's pretty oppressive.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely struggled with that pressure applied from Freddy. With Spirit, she has a lot more on top of which and can just be very, very oppressive, as we can see here.
Right. And already getting an early hit on Splasher. As the survivors start working on their generators, Splasher is getting committed to and goes around already getting it down again, just like before. Just really fast down. Early pressure for Little Rugard. Really well played. And
that was
no corrupt intervention.
Executed.
He does not have corrupt intervention this time around. But yeah, that was really well executed. And he does have Hex Ruin, so he is using that to his effect. One generator does pop, though. And somebody already off the hook. Now, we did hear a hop over the window back here in the back. Who is it? Where are they? It's a Claudia, I think. Having a little trouble locating them, though. Little Rugard is kind of losing all his pressure. They just finished getting all their heals back. Or the heal up on Splasher now. So everybody's kind of reset. With one generator, one hook. Good play by Little Rugard. Get him to go back towards the middle and then hop through. Very well done. And he's not going to get the hit on Quentin. I do believe he whiffed that. Let's go back the other way. I went the wrong way around the cycle, but it doesn't matter because Splasher gets abandoned. And let's check on our survivors. We do see Reality taking a hit. And abandoned, not committing to the chase, instead wanting to probably pressure generators, feeling a little bit concerned about the time he's spending on these chases, but then maybe going back for it. I don't know. I think he saw that player go on that totem and is now going to go harass it. So that was definitely the plan, but they jump off of it. Cautionary tale, but reality going down. Hopefully believing that this is a fantasy for them, but no, this is definitely a reality. 2 generators done, though. 2 hooks as well. Keeping the score quite even, I would say. He definitely needs to snowball, I think.
So far.
Yeah, he's doing really well. But he does need to start considering snowball, or at least snowballing some pressure. Getting some more injuries would be really good. Because otherwise, they're going to keep doing generators at pretty much the same pace. And I see he's doing pretty much exactly that now, going in for Clay. But instead finding Quentin up here. Quentin used the styptic agent outside of line of sight, so does manage to trick Little Rugard into getting a hit on him and gives him that extra distance towards the pallet, exactly what he needed, but then goes right in front of him during the phase. Very well played by Rugard and gets him down quickly. But then you have to wonder, does he have Decisive Strike up or not? And of course, no, he does not. It's been more than a minute, right? So yeah, that's going to be that for him. He's going to be on second hook.
That was really great use of audio cues there by Little Rugard, being able to hear that Quentin mid-chase and deciding to just flick over instead.
He has pretty decent headphones. I can attest. So Little Rugard lines up for the chase with Clay. Clay is working around a fairly unsafe pallet right now and may drop this early. Does not. Baits out the hit. Goes for the pallet respect and does get it. If Rugard had been a slight bit more patient, maybe actually would have gotten a hit on there instead of getting stunned. But he did respect the pallet swinging through it, hoping that it would get dropped, but it did not right away. And he does find Quentin again. Quentin, he's going to go straight for him. He knows Quentin is dead on hook and wants to see if he can get someone out of the game. And he does get him down, but is Quentin going to be able to pressure him back with Unbreakable or DS? I don't know. Where is he going? I think
he's making the right move here by going after the Quentin, trying to get them out of the match early.
I think so as well, and I was wondering where he was going. He does go for Clay. He goes for the injury on Clay, but does not commit. Instead, ooh, Splasher getting back up with Unbreakable, yes. And off he's going to go into the distance and disappear, so he is going to lose him. Gets a nice hit on Zurin, though, and finds Quentin again. Maybe going to commit to the Quentin now that he's gotten 2 injuries as well. No, wanting to go for reality, perhaps to increase his pressure, or faking it, going back for one of the other players. I wonder who it's going to be. Oh, yeah, it's Splasher. He definitely wants to get him down. Swinging a little bit early, getting too eager. He's struggling, but does get him down ultimately, and Splasher is going to be on Death Hook. So that's an early Death Hook. 3 generators. Oh, 2 generators left. Very similar to the last game as well.
Yeah, it really will matter, you know, whether or not Rue's going to be able to apply that same type of pressure that he did last game in the mid to end, and how he manages his ruin.
And the survivors are just now starting on these 2 remaining generators, which means he has all the time in the world to start pressuring them. And he is coming down here. This area is not exactly safe for these survivors. I think he got a little lost, so he kind of went the wrong way. They're pretty sure they were on the other side. Not on this side, so I don't know what he's doing over here. But maybe he'll work his way back around. I'm pretty sure he heard them. Yeah, he's going to hear them. Get reality. A nice hit. 2 out of 3 survivors injured. 1 already did. And a generator popping. Wow. That I did not see coming that quickly. And switching targets to Zurin. Swinging through the pallet. Not quite able to secure the hit. Swings through it that time and does get it, though. Very nicely played. And that'll be first hook for Zurin. And the survivors continuing to pressure these generators. Reality working her way possibly toward the hooking area. To where the hooking area happened. English. No, working around some other way. I guess looking for a generator or something. I don't know what she's doing. She's not really contributing to the team right now. I'll just say that. She's just kind of walking around doing nothing.
Yeah.
But Clay takes a hit. And Clay would be on first hook. Clay has not been hooked yet, which is pretty remarkable. He's been in several chases with Clay, but Clay keeps getting hit, doing well, like with the pallets right here, and then kind of abandoning or forcing the abandon. Yeah, because look at that. He forces him to abandon it because he just wastes too much of his time, and Ruru knows better than to commit to chases with strong survivors.
Now he needs to make a choice. With all 3 survivors injured, he can kind of pick off anyone he wants.
He really could, yeah. I mean, he can just kind of go for whoever he wants at this point, and I guess he's going for reality. Gonna go ahead and kick that pallet, get it out of the way. And reality turning around, going the other direction, hoping to trick Rugard, and it seems to work. Rugard getting a little lost, but no, actually finding Clay, getting Clay on a down. Very well played by Rugard. That is first down for Clay. It's unfortunate that we didn't get to see it, but I had no idea where the hell he was going, so...
Yeah, I have to say, if Rugard's style play, it's really unpredictable to where he's going and when. And
Yeah.
I think it's part of the appeal of playing Spirit for him right now.
Oh, for sure. And, you know, I could just sit here and watch the killer part, but it's part of the fun for me is trying to track where he's going and figure it out. And I think the audience likes that too. And we do see, of course, Zurin, I believe. No, Reality coming in for the unhook. Zurin being pressured away from the generators. And maybe getting committed into a chase. Yeah, here he comes. Rugard working his way toward the middle. Not a bad guess, but not correct, and ultimately. And instead is going to choose to abandon it.
Yeah, I think
feel
Rugard
like-
may
yeah.
have thought that the window was on that side that Zurin was on and predicted them
Yeah.
bolting in instead.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what it was. I mean, I kind of would have thought the same way. I would not have thought they would go around the outside on the back end, but honestly, I feel like he should have committed to that chase. I'm pretty sure that the pallet's gone in that, so I don't see why you wouldn't just commit to it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for Rugard right now is just seeing those generators, that information of surveillance go off every time and just going back and forth.
I mean, it's not bad. Definitely keeps him guessing as well. And yeah, he does get the down on Reality, so I can't really hate on the strategy. Working quite well for him, and he's going to get the down and a hook, second hook for Reality. And he could potentially do some camping to camp them down to death, or he'll leave it immediately and go for another hook or two. See how he plays it. That generator is pretty close to finishing, though. And he knows probably which one it is. And he's going to go check on that far gen first. That surveillance coming in handy. Ruin's still up. Of course, they get it done before he gets there. Unfortunate for Rugard, but it may or may not matter. He may be able to still apply a ton of pressure to them in this late game as well. She does a nice dead hard for her, getting that distance to the pallet that she needs. Clay is using that dead hard exactly how you're supposed to. Well, I mean, you know, exactly how it is strongest. I won't say it's supposed to be used any certain way. You can just, you know, dead hard into walls if you really want to, but it's not ideal play. Anywho.
Hey, if it gets you that temporary invincibility, it might be worth it.
That's true. That's a very good point. And Zurin, confusing the spirit a little bit. I think she's a little confused. She's just kind of running back and forth around and around different places, but ultimately does go down right inside of here. We do see a flashlight, but Reality gets caught out. And Rue calls her bluff, says, no, I'm not letting you do this. However, Clay working on a gate. Reality maybe following shortly behind. They may actually get at least a one-man escape here. Unless Rugard starts pressuring the gates. Which he doesn't seem too keen on doing. A gate does open up. Clay is taking a risk by walking his way back into the map. And Rugard may actually get a second down. Very nicely done. And is he going to go back? Clay probably should be leaving. If it were me, I'd be getting the hell out of Dodge. But he's taking a lot of risk by running back into here at all. And let's check in on our
Yeah,
killer.
definitely an interesting choice by Clay, kind of going back in. I mean, realistically speaking, Spirit can get from one side of the map to the other, and with this being a 158 square tile map, it's pretty dang small.
Now, you could argue that picking that survivor up may have been a mistake. I'm not saying it was. I'm saying it could have been. Just by picking the survivor up, he could have given Clay a chance because he hasn't escaped yet, giving him a chance to come back and get a rescue. Now, he did not do that. Clay is, of course, standing right here. So it did actually work out for him. But I would have suggested at least waiting. But he does get a one-man escape, which is not ideal for them, but does do a little better than they did in the last game. So we'll at least say that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with your assessment there. I think realistically speaking, exploring those exit gates and seeing if Clay is there to, reduce variables would have probably been better off. That way you could have gone to those 200 survivors and hooked them individually, taking your time with it. Yeah,
exactly. It's risky. He played a risky moment there, but he did well. I mean, he didn't actually end up losing the survivor, them getting two-man escape or whatever. The only thing that's concerning now is that he's kind of left the other gate wide open, and they could be crawling to like hatch or something, unless he's already found the hatch. I don't think he has.
No, they're actually crawling right towards that open exit gate.
Yeah, they are. Do they have time to even get to it though?
Let's see.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He finds them.
Nope.
It doesn't matter. No, I don't think they were going to get to it anyway. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like we said, it's risky. It's a lot of risk by doing that. And I would have just stayed inside the exit gate and waited. But, he played it how he played it, and he got it exactly how he should have. 3K, very well done by Little Rugard. And I can't fault the strategy because he got a 3K. So, well done. 29,864. Great score as well. Fantastic score.
Yeah, no, I think Rugard did what he needed to do, and now he has given his team a lead where hopefully they'll be able to bring that momentum into the Survivor match and close the door if they're looking for a win. But Port Mafia is not too far behind. So, depending on the killer they bring, they could just as easily answer back with that spirit.
Right. Yeah. And I think you said Regard on accident, and I don't know if you did it or not, but I heard Regard. And then when you said that, I was thinking, Regard. I don't know why that went into my head, but it did, and that's where we are right now. But yeah, GG's to both teams on that one.
On a separate note, looking at the perks, I do have some questions here. Sloppy Butcher is definitely a good perk against Spirit because more time they spend healing, the better. And, the biggest thing is the add-ons, actually. Talisman I was expecting to see, but to see, what's that other one? The Washizaki? That's a little bit surprising. I was definitely expecting to see a Dirty Uabaki instead.
Let's talk a little bit more of that in the post-game. We'll be right back after this. Hang tight. Alright, everybody, you're watching Week 3 matchup, Conference Rivals Port Mafia versus Undying Alliance, and this was trial number 3 out of 4. There's one more left to go in tonight's matchup, and this is your post-game review. We saw 4 generators getting done that one. Not too bad at all by these drivers. 1-man escape, though. Wait, 4 generators? Is that right? Was it only 4? I thought they got all 5. Did I do something wrong? Oh, okay. Anyway, 8 hooks, 3 kills. Not bad at all. And yeah, Port Mafia 13, Undying Alliance 20. So really well played. Sam's fixing it now to 5 gens, making me look bad. Anyway, Undying Alliance leading going into trial number 4. So yeah, they did really well in this game. It's going to come down to whether or not Port Mafia's killer can answer in kind as well. In these highlights, here you go. Take a look and let us know what you think about this game.
Yeah, I found it really interesting how Rugard was managing his gens. Once again, we see Surveillance, which seems to be one of his favorites, info perks when it comes to gens paired with Ruin Undying. And we definitely saw a lot of use of it in the later game. I think very similar to the Freddy match, we saw where it didn't get him a lot of value, and because of that, he did lose some gens pretty quick. But towards the end game, especially where Spirit's able to make so much distance on this small of a map, he was able to really pressure those 3 gens, even though they were so far apart. So every time he'd see one generator pop yellow, he's like, okay, that's where I'm going next immediately after this chase. And he made really good time. It could be said that he wasted a little time here at the end, on this last 3-man and gave them that last gen and thus an escape. But overall, I think it was an amazing play by him. Survivors-wise, we did see a few times where reality here was out in no man's land with that flashlight in hand, not really working on gens. I do question if, they were on a gen rather than going for that flashlight save, if they could have gone out a little bit sooner and maybe got on 2-man off of that too. What are your thoughts, Boggy?
For me, this is sorry. For me, this is one of the risks of bringing a flashlight. Is that you're gonna find yourself trying to put yourself in that situation where you can get a flashlight save, but in the meantime of trying to do that, you're kind of wasting the team's time by not really contributing. You're not doing totems or doing gens. It's I don't know. It's tough. Like if they had actually gotten a flashlight save, I would say it was worth it. But it's so situational. And especially against strong teams like this, it's really hard to say if it was actually a good idea.
No, I think you're spot on with that idea, and exactly what you said. Personally, I do think that that may have been a big factor here, to where we just didn't see that additional gen pressure, or even just seeing more pressure made elsewhere and just leaving people on hooks. I don't think they made the same mistake that we saw against Freddy, where they went for some unsafe unhooks. I never saw an unhook where I went, okay, that could have been done better, or could have waited a little bit longer. So I think overall they played the hooks a lot better this time round.
Agreed.
So, yeah. So, with that being said, and us going into this next match, any predictions for Port Mafia's killer? They already brought a Freddy and a Spirit that they played against. Are they going to, bring a...
If you really want to know, the audience is saying 64-36 in favor of Port Mafia right now. So the audience is going basically 2/3 to Port Mafia's killer. Excuse me, I keep burping today. Something wrong with me.
He was asking the killer prediction.
Oh, killer prediction. Sorry, I misunderstood. And why does it say Trial 5, Sam? What is this failure, this massive failure, Sam?
So you missed
I would have to say,
call me out for my mistakes. I see how it goes.
Yeah, whatever. Suck my left pinky. Now, if you have to ask me what killer you're going to bring, I'm usually always going to say Hag, because I love the Hag, and this map is great for her. It's a perfect blendy, map. The grass is great for the traps. But thinking more like other killers who probably aren't insane and always want to bring Hag to every game, I would say maybe we will see a Spirit in Kind from Port Mafia, or we might also see something like a Nurse game, but I don't know. I can't really say for sure, but I feel like they're thinking they want to come out strong because they don't want to lose, I'm sure. I'm not completely sure if they have a win streak going on, do they? Let me see their... Yeah, they have a win streak of 2 right now, and they may want to try to continue that win streak, so maybe going to come out with the heavy artillery. We'll see.
Aren't they the only other undefeated team right now? CDM and them?
I'm looking at it. We see Creepy Daddy Michaels with 3 wins, Port Mafia with 2 wins, and Siphon has 3 wins as well.
Oh yeah, that nail biter against DHOP today. Whew.
Yeah, what a nail biter! Y'all totally missed it.
Yeah, it was done in the blink of an eye.
It was
literally.
I mean,
okay.
Siphon's killer and survivor side just so deadly.
Seriousness, for the audience that may actually have missed it, Siphon won against D-Hop at a concession. D-Hop actually was not able to get the schedule properly done for their team to come in, and so they conceded the game, and it's 48-0 in favor of Siphon. So they won by a default, and that's just how it goes sometimes. But yeah, there you go. So going into trial number 4, this is anybody's game right now, which is concerning, I'm sure, for both teams. However, Undying Alliance does have the lead, but not by much. Only an 8-point lead? No, 6-point lead. Math is not my strong suit right now. And I think they're going to hopefully not get too complacent. I know that these teams can sometimes get complacent with their leads, but this lead is not one that you can really get complacent with.
Absolutely. I think this is, anyone's game, and I think, my prediction after Trial 1 was right when I said it's going to come down to Trial 4, and, with only a 6-point difference, I think that's come to fruition.
Yeah, and here they are, by the way. This is your Survivor Squad. We have Killer Squad as well. Reality Z is going to be killing for Port Mafia in this last game. Corporate Kamikaze, TX Nightwolf, Troon Toon, and Canadian Beast 55 on the Survivor Squad. Everybody except TX Nightwolf is rated up. And yeah, there it goes. Now he's rated up, and we're going in. So we're going to play the last rules for you. We have Survivor rules. In case you aren't sure how the Survivor scoring works, this is how it works. All right, folks, we're going to be looking at how the Survivor side earns their points. And let's look at all their objective score points, counting down from 5 generators. 5 and 4 are worth 1 point each. 3 and 2 gens are worth 2 points each. And 1 is worth 3 points. 1 escape is worth 1 point. 2 escapes is worth 2 points. 3rd escape is worth 4 points. And the 4th escape, a total of 5 points. Every 16,000 scored is worth 1 point. First to hatch also gets 1 point. Survivor penalties: bringing banned or limited items, perks, or add-ons is minus 10 points. Changing build after reset is also minus 10 points. And starting with the wrong skin or avatar or a non-listed roster player is minus 5 points as well. All right, folks, we're going to be looking at how the Survivor side... Yo, what's up, everybody? We're back here again. Week 3 matchup, conference rivals, Port Mafia versus Undying Alliance. And yeah, this is trial number 4. This is the last game of the night, last game of the week, actually. And we'll be back, of course, Wednesday. I think 7 p.m. will be our first matchup. And we don't know who it is just yet, but we'll get that information for you very soon and update the schedule for you, as we normally do. Stick around after the game to see the post-game interviews, the cross-examination, and we'll be having fun in this last game. Let's see who wins. It's anybody's game right now. And, ooh, a blight. I would not have guessed a blight. There's a lot of weird geometry on this level, or on this map level, that would make me concerned about bringing a blight. But maybe if he's like a blight main or something, it won't be a big deal for him. Let's see. And there you go, getting an early hit on Corporal Kamikaze, and maybe even going to secure an early down. Let's see how he does. Corporal Kamikaze does not throw the pallet down right away, instead opting to try to do some mind games around it, but does go down as a result.
Yeah,
your insolence will be destruction. He did kind of mind game himself back, didn't he? He did not wait at a very optimal location, but also he can't really see over those walls. So what was he really going to do? I would have probably just dropped the pallet to be safe, but instead he gave him an early down. He could have extended that chase quite a bit if he hadn't done that. But they made their choice. Yeah. And he finds TX Nightwolf out, kind of in the middle of nowhere, chasing him towards the middle. TX Nightwolf drops the pallet early, working his way to another one. He does have the time to get to it. Kind of this unsafe outdoor area, but now he's kind of caught out. He kind of hesitated on his decision-making there. But Blight kind of went the wrong way as well, so it worked out. TX Nightwolf, ooh, baits a hit somehow, even though he was nowhere near the pallet. Corporal Kamikaze getting off the hook as this chase is happening. And Blight is kind of struggling to catch up. Now, if you're looking at it from Blight's perspective, he's actually quite short and can't really see too well over those walls, whereas Cheryl, being in third person, was able to see just fine over the walls. So just an interesting fact for you.
Yeah, behavior still hasn't given Blight's his platform shoes, so he can actually have that increased FOV.
Yeah, maybe someday. However, he's going to start chasing out Canadian Beast 55, who does get a nice early pallet stun. Very well done. And Blight is going to maybe get a hit. Didn't really slide off of that. I thought he might have slid off of that edge, but he did not. But doesn't quite secure the hit. Not quite able to turn enough. And Canadian Beast does get a stun as well. Very nice. What is Blight's plan? Oh, okay. Canadian Beast going out, kind of out in the middle of nowhere, not really getting to any safety, and then does go down. Unlucky. So a second hook. Go ahead.
I was going to say, definitely didn't expect to see that all of a sudden. You know, I thought that Canadian Beast had got enough distance to avoid the going down here, but does end up being second hook for Blight.
Yep. Second hook for Blight, and first hook, of course, for Canadian Beast, who's already off the hook as well. And the reality, getting a hit on TX Nightwolf again, who's fully healed at this point, and chasing around through this unsafe area, gonna go down, unfortunately, for TX Nightwolf. Reality has a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah, I think realistically speaking, he is managing these gens really well and just making it so that these survivors are not able to progress these gens whatsoever. And if he keeps this up, it's not looking good for Undying Alliance.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're seeing because they have not gotten any generators done except for the one. That's it, just the one. And they've only just started on generator number 2. And he's already interrupting that one, going for the guy, this Shroon. I just can't remember his player name. Francis? No.
Felix.
Felix. God, I knew it would start with an F. Thank you. And reality is going to get the fast pallet break.
I kind of get character blind myself, so don't worry about it.
It's a thing. I do it a lot. They know by now. This audience knows I struggle with character names. And he does get the early down on True Tune as well. So these survivors are going to have their work cut out for them. They may want to... what is it? What is this? What is this? What are you doing? What are you actually doing? Oh, you're going to go for the save. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But you were kind of doing nothing for a while. Anyway, Cobra Kamikaze now in the chase. And Blight's going to break the pallet. As we see Corporal Kamikaze working inside the Temple of Purgation. Going to try to get the vault. Does get hit, though, on the way over that. Very nice.
I was actually kind of surprised to see that hit.
Ooh, and does get her down as well. Second hook. He's gotten everybody hooked once. We could be looking at a potential 12-hook game if these survivors aren't careful. They need to quickly rethink their strategy. And that's not the strategy I would have been rethinking right there. That ain't it. Getting another injury. Now everybody injured. And quite possibly Blight is going to be targeting Canadian Beast. Yeah, going down quick as well. That'll be second hook for Canadian Beast and sixth hook. Sixth. I'm bad at saying that word. Sixth hook for reality. I have a lisp, and I struggle with that one.
Yeah, I think that this play just applying so much pressure, and with these many survivors being injured, I'm not sure what they can do.
Well, they have sort of reset and got a generator done at the same time. Corporal Kamikaze is the only one injured and does get him to whiff on the fence or on the window. So maybe they might be rethinking their strategy like we were talking about. Corporal Kamikaze does go down and he doesn't pick him up right away, probably fearing a decisive strike. Instead, working on getting TX Nightwolf injured again. Alfredomo in chat says, not looking good right now. Yeah, I agree. It's not looking too good. But they can recover. They can come back from this if they're careful, but they have to be really careful. That's a good example of being really careful. TX Nightwolf dropping that pallet right away. Don't care. It's a god pallet. Whatever. Get rid of it. Blight's not going to get me down. Screw you, Blight. Right? That's what he's saying. So, going to prevent that. And then if they can get Corporal Kamikaze back up off the ground, they can prevent a third hook, but they're not really doing that. However, Corporal Kamikaze may be out of sight. Nah, he finds him. He finds him, and that's going to be a third hook for Corporal Kamikaze. And this may be curtains for Undying Alliance.
Yeah, having only 3 survivors on 3 gens, this is going to be a really tough spot for them to be.
Whoop. That's unfortunate. I'm just like watching that going, oh, that's not good for good for TX Nightwolf. That's very bad news. That second hook, that'll be 2 survivors on death hook. 1 survivor already dead, and 1 already hooked once. So I think, yeah, the score is gonna fall in favor of the Blight, which is exactly what they want, I'm sure. I mean, no doubt. I was rooting for Undying Alliance in this one to upset Port Mafia's win streak, but Port Mafia, they brought out their own heavy artillery. They probably are a Blight main. I want to kind of find out in the post-game, the cross-examinations, because he's playing this like an expert. He's doing a really good job playing Blight. Like, I mean, just fantastic. He's pressuring really well. He's doing really good on all the bounciness things, using his power very effectively. I mean, obviously an adept blight, but the survivors, even with all this pressure, still getting generators out the game. Very nice.
Yeah, like you were saying, it's hard to assume that he's anything but a blight main because he knows how to jump around this geometry really, really well.
I mean, yeah, I was worried about the geometry, but apparently he's not. So he's like, yeah, whatever, I got this. What are you worried about, Puggy? I'm doing fine. Shut up. Don't criticize me again. How dare you? Canadian Beast now getting injured in the chase with Blight. Blight may or may not commit. He is going to commit. And, ooh, a little bit of strange movement by Canadian Beast. May actually get a down. Yeah, that's going to be a down on Canadian Beast. And third hook as well. And TX Nightwolf not yet up off the ground.
Yeah, I see something interesting there with that aura.
Yeah.
We see there that they're focusing on that gen and not going for that pickup, and I do question why.
Yeah, me too, because if you could get both people on the gen, then you could do more damage, and then you could also get them healed back up, and this is kind of what I saw before when we saw, I think it was Corporal Kamikaze dead. He could have gotten up while Blight was on the other side of the map, but they just didn't go for it. Nobody went for it, and if they had, instead of focusing on gens, they would have at least 3 people alive right now, if not 4. But, TX Nightwolf now going to be dead as well. Is he going to go for it? No, he's going to go for the 4-man slug, of course. Is anybody surprised by that? I'm not. He did that in the first game. And he does find Felix, working toward the Temple of Purgation. Felix, the only one to have been hooked only once so far. Jason Elite says he's a Legion main. Oh, okay, fair enough. They have similar powers. I could see that transferring over pretty well to Blight. And Troon Toon does go down. And that's GG. Curtains for Undying Alliance today. Their scores are still really close, though, even in spite of that. I mean, it was a close game. This was anybody's game, and I think just a handful of different plays or a handful of different choices, and this could have gone a very different way. But here it is. This is the way it went.
100%. No, I think, realistically speaking, as I always will say, A, Dead by Daylight is played in seconds, and B, killers win through the mistakes of survivors. And I think that we saw that here really exemplified.
I can't simplify it to just that. I can agree with you that survivor mistakes are certainly a component, but the killer does have the capacity of zoning survivors into making mistakes as well. So I can't just fault it to survivors making mistakes alone, but I get what you're trying to say.
Interesting. Blight seeing Cheryl, but not picking her up. Maybe just waiting out the DS.
I think he wants to go for Hatch first. I think he found Cheryl. He found her and then goes, okay, I know where she is. So I'm going to go find the hatch now and then kind of go back to that area and pick her up then. But if she dies first to the ground, then it doesn't matter. Because it's... I think he's got like 30 seconds to find it and get back to her and pick her up. So we'll see how it does. Yeah, he's going back.
He made the decision yeah.
No, never mind. He's changing his mind again. Make up your mind, reality.
He's like, I just want to make sure you're still here. That's all. Oh,
right. Yeah. Are you still here? Yeah. Okay, you're still here. All right. He does get the hatch. Very nice. That is an extra point. Maximizing those points. He's probably gonna. Blight is a blood point machine, so he might even have a perfect score, or at least very close to it. 11 hooks.
I'm definitely expecting 11 hooks with a 32,000 here. At least a 3,000 match, without a doubt. Sorry, 30,000.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Could be 31.9.
True.
And 31.9. I mean, I called it. Yeah, you're welcome. So So yeah, we saw an amazing game from both sides. A fantastic matchup altogether. A great series of games today. I loved this. I don't know about you. And by the way, I just want to give a shout out again to Guildspire. You can do ! Guildspire in the chat to get a link to Guildspire's channel on Twitch. Go follow him. Check him out. He's really awesome. And I'm really glad he was able to come in and be my host for today. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you for having me. And, just mentioning these perks here real quick, looking at Tinker, Undying, Ruin, and was that Corrupt Intervention? Yeah.
Yep.
So seeing Corrupt Intervention for, was that the third time this series?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of Corrupt Intervention.
Definitely put in some work there for sure. And of course, I think, these are the default atoms for Blight. I don't think you can really use anything else other than these two here. And he got a ton of value.
Awesome. So we'll be right back after this. We're going to take a look at the post-game review. We'll be right back in just a moment. Hang tight, folks. And don't forget, cross-examinations coming up. And we're here again. Week three, I can speak. Week 3 matchup, Conference Rivals Port Mafia versus Undying Alliance. And this is your post-game review of trial number 4. So this is what you witness, folks. 3 generators getting done. A really difficult game for these survivors. 0 escapes, of course. And how many hooks? How many was that? Yeah, 11 hooks. Really well played. And 4 kills and a hatch kick. So maximum score that he could get other than 32,000, but 31-9, massive score. 77-62 final score. Port Mafia leading in trial number 4, convicted of murder. So well done to Port Mafia, and congratulations to both teams, really, because this was a great matchup. Really great matchup. Very impressive.
No, it really was. Everyone did a really great job, and, like we were saying earlier on, it's going to come down to Trial 4, and Port Mafia just really showed that they were here to play, bringing in that Blight. Definitely was a surprise, especially at the map. I think you're right in saying that the geometry is kind of strange and unusual here, but this Blight left me speechless, and I have respect for any Blight that can do as amazing a job as this. Blight right now is probably one of my weakest killers, and be able to see him just have mastery around his control is impressive, to say the least. Though I will say, looking at some mistakes here and there on the side of Undying Alliance, though definitely costing them some time here and there, I think just the pressure from Blight was a little bit too much, and they just could not recover from the early game into mid, and just was able to close it out real early.
And I think we already have 2 players from both teams. One player from each team, I should say, who are going to come in for the post-game review or interviews. So I guess hop on in. One of them we already know very well. Welcome in, Rugard. Good to have you, my friend. Welcome back. You did so well tonight.
Grazie.
I'm gonna let Guildspire take over on some post-game interviews while I rest my voice, because I'm getting tired of my voice cracking. So.
Sounds good. Rue, amazing job today. You and your team really showed what you guys could do, and honestly, it came down to the wire. With you bridging that gap after game 1 with both your killer trials, I think that you positioned your team in a really great spot between your Freddy match and your Spirit match. Question for you, though, what was your thought going into this? I know you from being a Blight main, so what's it like playing Freddy and Spirit? What was going in your mind and behind the decision-making there?
I was not a fan of Blight on this map because there's a lot of long geometry that you can spend too much time on, and Spirit and Freddy are just kind of OP, and I know I needed to have a significant edge if I'm going to be playing against Port Mafia. That was literally the only thought there.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. And speaking of Spirit, what was the decision making between the add-ons? I was really surprised to see at the end game there to not see the Dirty Uwabaki instead of you seeing the Sashimono, or I think it was the Sashimono, the broken Sashimono.
Are you talking about the speed add-on for the green shoes?
Yeah.
I thought about it, and I've actually just become kind of accustomed to taking the other one. I enjoy having the much faster lunge, and honestly, it's almost gimmicked at this point. You hit through pallets when you really shouldn't be able to, because you lunge so fast out of there, it just calculates the hit. Normally they should get the pallet stun, it just says, no, you don't get pallet stuns. I'm also used to lunging really far. I tried the shoes out, and I didn't get nearly as many hits, and so I just kind of went with what was comfortable for me.
Makes perfect sense, and I actually wasn't aware about that. Kind of reminds me of Wraith coming out of his cloak and getting those fast hits through pallets.
Mm-hmm. Almost exactly like that, except way more overpowered because Spirit should be nerfed into oblivion, in my opinion. But that's just me.
I think a lot of the community would agree with you on that. And so another question for you, as you know, we haven't seen anyone from Port Mafia join just yet. You know, what are your thoughts?
Clay is from Port Mafia.
Oh, is Clay here?
Clay is in the waiting room.
Clay's here. We usually do losers first, and then.
Okay. Well, I wanted to ask you, Rue, and I also want to ask Clay. I know he wasn't playing the Blight, but you know, you were saying earlier how you weren't really a fan of Blight on this map. But what's your analysis of that gameplay that we saw there at the end?
First thing, I thought I was just going to throw my team under the bus, but no, they played really, really well. The Blight, I think the Blight did more correctly, not using his power nearly as much in Chase and using it to just get across the map, which it's a pretty wide open map, and it's for not being that large of a map, it feels kind of large in my opinion. So using it to get around, I think, is correct. In my practices, I might have just not been utilizing as much for that purpose, instead using it to chase too much. One thing I'll also say is that I didn't see them. I wasn't, in the match specifically, but it didn't look like they hugged nearly as much wall when looping the Blight. I think there was twice when they did, and the Blight just left them, which I think was the correct choice on both ends. You try and hug like a really tight geometry, and the Blight just struggles to use his ability around there, and you force the Blight to play as a normal 115 killer, and at that point it just feels bad, so you just leave. So They did a lot of really good looping, and they just used it to get around the map, which I think is correct.
Fair enough, and I think you're right. Looking back on your team, there were some questionable plays against the Blight. Leaving leaving people. What was your thought? Was that the right move to?
Are we losing Guilt?
Yeah, you're cutting out for me. What was the
sorry
question?
About that. The
that
question.
one more time.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Perfect. My question was, a few times in that match against the Blight, we did see a few times where, we saw a survivor on the ground, a person on a gen. I'm not sure if that was a conscious decision. Obviously, I know you weren't in the survivor match, but I'm not sure if you talked to your team, right before joining in on why that might be, and what was the thought process there.
They're all on consoles, and I think they have to get on their phone to get on Discord, so I haven't talked to them yet.
Gotcha.
I do know that they do try and push the gens before friends agenda. I can't say specifically why they might have left in that specific situation. I think they're honestly just trying to get the gens out of the way as soon as possible. I think the biggest issue, and I'm honestly kind of annoyed at this, because whenever I practice against them, Ruin Undying goes away immediately. They are really good about that. And then in this game, I'm like, guys, get Ruin. Just get Ruin. Just get Ruin. And, I don't know. The totem spots on this map are pretty atrocious sometimes. There are some really tough totem spawns on this map. You've got one on that, really weird second story. You've got one down in, that basement-ish area. There are some nasty totem spawns in this map. And I think one of the totem spawns was actually kind of nasty, so I don't inherently blame them. I just wish they would have got Ruin out earlier. It's like they hate my Ruin, but they don't hate this guy's. I'm like, what did my Ruin do wrong here? What did I do?
So let's move on to Clay. Clay is from Port Mafia. Clay, you there?
That scared me. Hi, I'm Clay.
How's it going today, Clay? Great job today. Your team really, showed what you could do, and answered back in kind to Rue's Spirit and Freddy with that Blight match in the end.
You really brought Spirit Freddy. I wanted to cry, I'm not gonna lie, but I really respect it. You know how I feel about Freddy, so.
Yep, I'm well aware of Finding in the Fog in that regard. But, with that being said, you guys still played around it really well. And I think that Spirit match, was definitely make or break. But you guys were able to force that last gen and go for the escape.
Yeah, I really wanted to at least get a save or pick up, but I just felt like Rue was baiting it. And Rue played I'm sorry for the cursing, but he played amazing. He played very, very well. I'm really sad he brought those killers, but I respect it, I understand it. But yeah, he played amazing. And so I just took the escape, knowing the more points we get, the smaller the gap for us to close it out with.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as, the killers that you brought, we were very surprised to see a Blight at the end there. What was the thought process going into Trial 4 with Blight?
We were only down 6. We still didn't want to burn a really good killer, and we trusted Reality to play a Blight really well. Unfortunately, we literally practiced for 6 hours last night against Deity. We overslept, and we played on Torment, which was our map for so long. We thought we were playing it tonight. Put on Cold Tower so many maps, but it slipped our head because that we were gonna play this map because a message I'd seen like an announcement. So we just practiced on Torment, and I kind of think that got us like in the behind.
Gotcha. I mean, at the end of the day, even with that, and you guys practicing on a completely different map, the Blight was able to still make it work for him and was able to adjust the game plan accordingly. So, I think the practice still paid off in the end.
Yeah, no, I definitely did. He played amazing, and we trusted him to go out there. Like, he could have picked whatever killer, and we trusted him, so...
Absolutely. And as far as Survivor side's concerned, I think that obviously with those 2 very impressive killers, it's hard to combat that. And I think Rue did a really great job at controlling gens, especially with Freddy, of course. Realizing very early on that it was Freddy, what was going through your guys' mind? What decisions were you guys making? There's obviously some really interesting unhooks and some really bad exchanges, in my opinion, that I think really gave a lot of pressure to Rue early on. What was that going through your mind?
It was, so there's nothing you can really do about it, but we don't want to let somebody go into struggle at 3 gens. Normally it would be at 2 gens, but Forever Freddy it takes so much longer to do a gen. It's not guaranteed you'll get 3, and somebody will have to get off the gen to like try to get the save or trade. So we really didn't want anybody going into struggle off first hook, because then the game just goes more into the killer's favor. We just wanted to hope our DSs and like Unbreakables like gave us like some type of reset, but honestly it's so hard against the Freddy on like I said, a map we never really play on. So it was just really, and he played amazing, like, and then the Rune Undying, it was tough.
Absolutely. I know that we're coming up on time for these interviews. Do you guys have anything to say to each other based on the gameplay?
Rugard, I hate you.
I understand the sentiment. I had to. It's the only way I could have tried to give my team a chance.
Nah, I understand.
You guys are cracked.
You played amazing.
Kamikaze's in the wing if he has something to say. But yeah, no, GG's guys. You guys are an incredibly cracked team, just saying.
I appreciate it, and same for you, Kelly. I think that was like literally the first time we struggled like that hard since maybe like a preseason game against PGS. So it was really, really fun. Like on the Survivor side at least is what I mean, like we struggled.
Absolutely. And I do see Kamikaze did join us last minute as well. Kamikaze, any last thoughts from you on your side?
Clay is my boy, but yeah, I would say Port Mafia is a great friend of Undying Alliance, so it's always exciting to be able to go against them. We had a couple of scrimmages against them in the preseason, so we kind of had an idea on what we were getting into, at least on the Survivor end. A little off guard because we expected to possibly go against Kadi tonight instead of Reality, but Reality definitely showed up and showed exactly what his capabilities are. Definitely was a fun matchup either way. On Undying Alliance side, I think we're still having a little bit of trouble kind of balancing out communication with getting gens done, with making sure we're, keeping up on taking care of Ruin and, making sure we're making correct call outs. And there was a couple of times we had a few slip ups, but, every time we play, every time we practice, we are continually improving. So I'm beyond proud of my team no matter what.
Yeah, you're always touching my ruin, but you never touch their ruin. What's special about my ruin?
We're talking to Zach right
against practice. Stay out of this, Rugard.
All right. Well, with that being said, guys, anything that you want to say to chat? Let's start with Rue.
Oh, I muted myself again. My bad. Follow and subscribe to Vigo's Court. Check out the merch.
He's hosting even when he's not hosting, this guy.
You're not even supposed to be here today.
Right? The hell? It's your
And Clay, how
your
about
night
you?
off.
Everything Rugard said, and I hope you guys have a great Saturday night and a great Sunday morning.
Oh, I plan on it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
No problem.
All right, guys. Well, that there will be the end of our night where we saw Port Mafia versus Undying Alliance. Just want to remind you guys, as always, if you did enjoy the show, please make sure to follow Vigo's Court, subscribe to support us, and check out our merch. If you have a favorite team that you would like to support, make sure you pick up an Undying Alliance shirt, a Port Mafia shirt, CDM, Deity, what have you. And maybe we'll get some Vigo shorts in there too at some point.
Wait. Aren't you on like Fort Dwight's or are
I
you
am.
Deborah Pallets? How are you not going to rep your what? What?
I'm talking about
What?
the team tonight. You know, it's good and all to rep yourself, but you also want to make sure you give credit where credit's due.
So before the first gen even pops,
Make you wanna call my name.
trying to bait out a hit there, but not able to get it. Freaky JT able to get away. That was a missed decisive strike. And that is an insta-down.